What up, Josh Rubin from East West Handling and Performance. I am back. It's been a while. I was completely exhausted. I needed a break from the web, from doing YouTubes, but it's a new year. I'm back. I want to say happy holidays to everyone, belated. Happy New Year, wishing everyone a great 2012. Today I want to talk about why we recommend orange juice. Why is orange juice so important in someone's diet? And there's so many people out there like Dr. McCullough. You have Dr. Oz, you have all these people online writing and blogging saying how fructose causes disease and orange juice can cause diabetes. Well, the interesting thing is we believe a little bit differently. Now, I'm not a researcher. I don't have a lab where I'm doing research. All I'm telling you is based off my own research about what I read, what I study, and what I use with my clients and myself. This is a great food if used correctly to actually regulate blood sugar, downregulate edema, upregulate the immune system, energy, etc. So why do we like vitamin C or orange juice? Well, orange juice, or vitamin C I should say, was actually discovered in 1937, or that's when Albert Szent-Györgyi was given the Nobel Prize because he discovered vitamin C. Now, vitamin C, based off his work, Ray Peat's work, and many other people's work, but of course mostly Albert Szent-Györgyi because he actually discovered vitamin C, it's been shown to be a major antioxidant for the body. Now, we produce a lot of our own antioxidants, but it's a food and it has a lot of antioxidant qualities for the body that can actually help. So you don't have to spend all this money on these crappy supplements that are ingested into the body. And when you have a downregulated metabolism or you're in a hypometabolic inflammatory state, you have trouble breaking down food, so the supplements you're taking in are actually going to even be more inflammatory and create more toxins. So why not use a food that's living, like orange juice, that can provide you with those antioxidants? Second thing is, orange juice, or we should say vitamin C, because that's what we're focused on, but these are the reasons why we like orange juice, actually increases white blood cell count in the body. Now, white blood cells are actually called leukocytes. They're found mostly in blood and lymph, and they're actually a huge part of your immune system because they're there's many others, but one of the most important defenders against foreign invaders. Third reason is vitamin C is actually essential for collagen formation, and you'll see that when people are in a hypometabolic state, they're estrogen dominant, they're not regulating their blood sugar, they're oversynthesizing progesterone, and they're ending up with a progesterone deficiency. Estrogen actually degrades collagen. So vitamin C can actually help build this up once we increase our metabolism. Fourth reason is vitamin C is actually essential and assists in the production of T3 at the cellular level. Now, about 10% of the conversion of T4-3 happens in the liver, goes into the blood, in the thyroid, goes into the blood. About 80 to 90% happens in the liver peripherally, and things like glucose and selenium, manganese, etc. actually required for this. And there's many other factors, but vitamin C is essential for the production of T3. Now, cholesterol uses in the cells T3, magnesium, copper is super important, etc. to produce your steroidal hormones such as pregnenolone, progesterone, DHEA, testosterone, estrogen. So T3 is not only important for cellular metabolism, but it's actually important for the conversion of cholesterol to steroidal hormones. And that's why cholesterol is a marker for hypothyroidism. I should say high cholesterol. Another reason we like it is because about 1 quart of orange juice contains about 1,000 milligrams of magnesium. Now, magnesium is super important for the body, and we can get it from bone broths and different foods and fruits, tropical fruits, but we can get such a large dose when we're taking an orange juice throughout the day or throughout the week. And magnesium is important for blood sugar regulation. It can actually directly downregulate ACTH, which is a stress hormone. It can actually synthesize with progesterone to regulate edema and counterbalance estrogen and calcium, so they're basically anti-estrogenic. It's important for cellular metabolism of ATP and all your steroidal hormones. So it does many things for the body, and why not get it from our foods? We can get it from Epsom salt baths. I've done that before. I've done a YouTube on that. But why not get it from our foods instead of taking these supplements we can't break down or that actually degraded forms of magnesium? Why not get it from our foods so we can reduce edema, upregulate progesterone, all these anti-inflammatory hormones, increase cellular energy, and so forth, to regulate blood sugar. Another reason is potassium. There's actually potassium in orange juice. Now, you know we're talking about vitamin C, but potassium is important because it's involved in regulating insulin levels and blood sugar levels. Potassium actually piggybacks sugar and gets it into the cell, where insulin kind of just shoves it away and says go into the cell. So potassium is very important to actually get sugar in the cell to regulate cellular metabolism, upregulate thyroid hormone, and metabolism systemically to produce energy, upregulate the immune system. Now, potassium is important because it's the most abundant extracellular cation, and it determines cellular hydration. And that's important because when cells are superhydrated, we're actually inflamed. And we need to use sodium and potassium to actually regulate this. Potassium as well is a mineral to help keep sodium in circulation. So anytime you have loss of sodium, which is really a hallmark sign of hypothyroidism, the body increases aldosterone production. And the problem with that is when you increase aldosterone production, it does it at the expense of losing certain things like magnesium and potassium. So potassium actually helps with water and sodium regulation. They all kind of have a role in this. When you're producing too much aldosterone, you're losing potassium, you can get retention of water, you can get edema, increased blood pressure, metabolic alkalosis, and potassium will actually affect all the nerves, all the muscles, and secretory cells in the body if we lose too much potassium. Now, potassium is actually required for carbohydrate metabolism, and it plays a role in protein synthesis. Now, potassium, sodium, all these different things, magnesium that we're getting from the tropical fruits, that we're getting from orange juice, etc., can actually help with increasing blood volume by regulating sodium so we don't lose so much sodium, can actually help reduce edema and lower blood pressure. So we're getting all these important things to help us so we don't have to take all these medications. Now, with sodium, it's important because a lot of times when we recommend people to use orange juice, we recommend them putting in small amounts of specific types of sea salts or Morton's pickling salt, not just a regular table salt, to get a salty kind of sugary mix, because salt will actually downregulate adrenaline and cortisol. It'll actually regulate aldosterone levels so you don't lose potassium or the potassium that you're taking in, and will actually upregulate progesterone in the body. So orange juice itself, or vitamin C, actually has a lot of progesterone-like qualities in the body. So it's very anti-inflammatory. Now, some things to remember when you're drinking orange juice. Never drink it with muscle meats. Never drink it if you're actually taking an iron supplement, which we don't recommend. It's highly toxic. Because orange juice or vitamin C can actually increase the absorption of iron in the body, which is highly toxic to the body and can cause a lot of free radicals, stimulate adrenaline, cortisol, upregulate estrogen, and oxidize free fatty acids in the body. So you want to be careful of that. So if you're eating a diet high in muscle meats, if you're taking iron supplements, if you're eating a diet that's high in organ meats, you want to kind of drink orange juice not even around the time that you're having those types of meals. You want to drink it separately. And we recommend that a lot for most people. Another rule of thumb is drink it pulp-free. Pulp contains cellulose. Cows are the only animals, or ruminant animals are the only ones designed to break down cellulose. It's a polysaccharide, a structural polysaccharide. Humans cannot break down cellulose, so a lot of people that drink orange juice, they get a stomach ache because of the pulp that's in the orange juice, because we can't break it down. So make sure that it's homemade and you strain it to get rid of the pulp, or you get an organic pulp-free orange juice. A lot of the other commercial grades that say pulp-free, a lot of the times they actually use certain solvents, etc., to break down the pulp. It actually breaks it down in the orange juice, and they sell it as pulp-free because there's no pulp, but it's actually completely dissolved in the orange juice itself. So that in itself can create some inflammation, so be careful of that. Another rule of thumb is if you're going to drink orange juice, never drink it on an empty stomach. Always drink small amounts and sip it over a period of time. We're talking over, it depends how much you have. If you're drinking 3 ounces, it doesn't need to be over an hour. But always sip it. Drinking small amounts. We always recommend using a little bit of salt with it, adding in a protein like gelatin, and of course adding in some fat or having some fat with it on the side, such as adding some cream to it, etc. The only time we really recommend people drink orange juice by itself, we always recommend drinking with salt. Always put salt in it. Is if you get up and your temperatures are super low, but your pulses are super high, 90, 100. That's an adrenaline response. Sipping a small, 3 ounces of orange juice while you're cooking breakfast to help down-regulate adrenaline. So hopefully you've enjoyed this YouTube clip. Hopefully you can actually incorporate it into your day. Of course it's YouTube. It's not going to give you all the answers, but hopefully it sparks some thoughts. I'm back, and I'm out of here.